It's showtime.
What's up, good people? And welcome to the Frank Harris Show, the biggest, the baddest, the best, and the most provocative show on earth. I'm not even introducing this guy because the last two times we come into the show, we debating off camera. We got to get right into it. Yo, how you gonna tell me Steph Curry's a top 10 player in the history of the NBA?
He's a top 10 player, Frank. He's a top 10 player, Frank. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Oh, by the way, look who we got back, Dominican E. Now we got to get into this. We got E. I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about Caitlin Clark. Again, we got to get into that, E. I want to talk about some of the coaches after week one of college football, but let's get into the Curry conversation. I got to get right into the Curry conversation, E. All right? There's no way Steph Curry is a top 10 player in NBA history, E. There's not a shot. There's not a chance. There's no way. And let me tell you like this, Eric. There are many metrics, right? There are many metrics. First of all, Curry's not really a traditional point guard, but that goes out the window, right? But there are many metrics, Eric. But this is a metric that's very telling to me. Not the only metric. I want to be clear. I'm stating this because I know y'all always be trying to catch me, and I'm always good with my words on purpose. Dominican E.
Let's go.
But E.
Let's go.
E.
Yeah.
E.
I know where you're going.
Steph Curry.
I know where you're going.
Steph Curry has been this is his 15th year coming up, right? So 14 years in the NBA.
I know.
In 14 years, Steph Curry has been first team All NBA four times. So that means that he's not one of the top two players, point guards, not even point guards, because they put two guards every year on the first team All NBA team. Okay, two guards. Steph Curry's only been there four times. That means four times out of his 14 years, he's been one of the top two guards in the NBA. Four times, Eric. That means 10 times in his career, he has not been a first-team All-NBA guard, which is, so forget about being a top 5 player in the league, right? But position-wise, he wasn't even a top 2 guard. One of the top 2 guards. If you look at all the other guys we talk about, guys that are going to be in the top 10 players ever, all of them have been first-team All-NBA, I think, at least 9 times. Steph Curry, 4. How can you not even be the best player in your league, best guard in your league most of your career, and you be a top 10 player ever? I'm going to let you go now, E.
I'm glad you said this is one of the metrics that you use to define.
One of the metrics.
Okay. So, but there's other.
But that's a very important metric.
Okay.
That's a very important metric, though, E.
But there's other variables, there's other metrics that we can, based it on Curry's, tremendous career in the NBA, right? Also, we can also say out of those 10 years that you said he wasn't top 10, first team All NBA, you got to consider 3 of those years he was hurt. So he missed half the year, missed a full season. So let's say it's 7.
What do you mean he was hurt? He was never missed a full season. Stop.
No,
he was not hurt most of the year.
Half a season, Frank.
There you go with your hyperbole. He never missed a full season. Every player's got hurt at some point in their career. So what?
Let's narrow it down to 7 years. Let's narrow it down to 7 instead of 10 because 3 of those years.
No, you can't. Kobe Bryant
was hurt, Frank. He was hurt.
Kobe Bryant was hurt before.
Okay, anyway. So now, going to...
You can't... No.
Frank.
No, you can't do that. Every player gets hurt. Larry Bird was hurt for multiple years with his back. You can't do that.
Okay.
You can't do that.
Okay, let's go on what you said. 10 years. Okay, let's go on what you said. 10 years.
How can you be a top 10 player? You're not even the best guard in the NBA most of your career.
Frank.
You're not even the best guard in the NBA most of your career.
That's just one.
And by the way,
that's just one metric. What about every other statistical things that matter? Right? Let's point them out. The best shooter of all time. Consider me the best shooter of all time. That's a fact.
That doesn't matter, bro. That doesn't matter.
Okay, hold on.
Dennis Rodman's the best rebounder of all time. That's the singular skill. Great.
Hold on, Frank. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Right? Best 3-point shooter, right? Broke Ray Allen's record, right? 2-time MVP, right?
That's big. That's a big metric.
Hold on.
All right? That's a big to me, that's a bigger metric than to be a great shooter. Because Dennis Rodman is a great rebounder, right? And he's not a top team. He's not close to the top 30.
But he's
right. So
based on that, he was a Hall of Famer, though, Frank. Based on that alone, he was a Hall of Famer.
So Curry's a Hall of Famer. We know that, and he's a top 20 player, but he ain't top 10.
Frank, he's a top 10 player.
No, he's not. So okay, keep giving me 2 MVPs. really relevant metric.
Back-to-back MVPs, one unanimous MVP that we've never seen before until Curry, established that. We haven't seen a unanimous MVP. He won it that year, unanimous. So come on, Frank. Right? 2015, 2016, led his team to the NBA Finals championship game. Right? MVP Finals.
Eric.
This is without
Kevin Durant.
Without Kevin Durant.
Your two metrics. You got 4 rings and 2 MVPs. Those are your metrics that work for you.
MVP Finals.
Oh, that doesn't work for you. Let's not do that.
What?
Let me tell you why.
So
Let me tell you why.
Doesn't count?
Let me tell you the problem. He went to 4 NBA Finals. It counts. It counts, Eric. But let me tell you how it works against
6.
you.
Let's get it clear. 6 NBA Finals, not 4. He went to 6 and lost 2.
No. He won 4 NBA Finals.
Okay,
correct? And he won MVP 1 time. So that means he was the best player in the finals 1 time. All right? So hold on. So you say he's a top 10 player ever. He went to 4 finals. And he was supposed to be the man on his team, right? And he's supposed to be all of this and all of that. And he only won 1 MVP finals. MVP.
Right.
Excuse me, 1 finals MVP. Hold on. Let me just finish, Of his 4 finals, 2 of those finals, Kevin Durant came to the team and was the best player. So he wasn't the best player on 2 of those finals, which is fine. But he wasn't the best player on 2 of those finals. So he got 4 finals, 2 where he was the best player, and only 1 where he won finals MVP. Oh. And the knock on him always is that he's not a guy that's good in the closing games and when it matters the most. That's the knock on him.
Oh, and don't forget the Olympic gold medal. Don't forget that. Throw that in there. And he showed up big when it mattered in this year's Olympics.
Okay.
Come on, Frank. Don't do that. He's the top 10 of all time.
Let me name 10 players right now that are undeniably better than Curry.
Okay, your top 10. I'm going to name my top 10. Go ahead.
I'm going to name 10 players right now undeniably better than Curry.
Go ahead.
Okay? Jordan and LeBron.
Okay, that's 2.
Not even debatable.
All right.
Right? The 3 bigs. The big 3 big men. Right?
5.
You got Kareem, Russell, Wilt.
Okay,
that puts us at 5.
That's 5.
Right? You got Magic and Bird. That put us at 7.
So that's at 7. Okay.
Right? You got Tim Duncan. That puts us at 8. All right? You got Shaq, Kobe, 10. No way Steph Curry goes ahead of any of those players. No way. No way Steph Curry goes ahead of those 10. Now, you want to start talking about the next 10, we can debate. There's no way Curry goes ahead of those 10. Now, who you taking out my 10? Who you taking out my 10 Dominican?
So you got LeBron and Jordan, the big 3, Kareem, Wilt, and Russell.
And Russell.
That's 5.
And Russell.
You got
5.
Then you got Magic.
And Bird. That's 7.
Magic and Bird, you said. Oh, okay.
That's 7. You got Tim Duncan. That's 8.
That's 8. And Kobe.
You got Shaq and Kobe. That's 10.
I'm taking out Bird.
You out of your mind. You out of your mind.
You out of your mind. I'm taking out Bird on that one. I'm taking out Bird on that. Taking out Bird.
I can't believe. I just can't.
What?
What?
Who has more rings?
Okay, Bird has 3. Curry has 4. But hold on. Bird was the man on his rings. Bird didn't have to squat up like your boy did to bring Kevin Durant. So he got 2 as the best player on his team.
Hold on. Who squatted up, Frank? Who squatted up? Kevin Durant came to the Warriors. The Warriors already established. He came to the Warriors.
But don't act like Curry wasn't a part of that. They squatted up. That's a fact.
No.
And number 2, hold on. Bird has 3 MVPs. Okay? And Bird and Magic collectively changed the whole trajectory of the NBA. Right? And on top of that, Bird was an elite scorer, an elite passer, an amazing rebounder. He did way more things on the floor than Steph Curry. And let me say this. And you talk about great players, Bird makes every player around him better. Curry doesn't. Curry's a great individual talent.
Maybe the best front court in NBA history. They had Kevin McHale, Parrish. Come on, Frank. Larry Bird. Come on, Frank. Don't do that. Don't do that. And hold on. Larry Bird.
Who was the best player? Who was the best player on the Celtics?
Bird was.
Who was the best player?
Bird.
Who?
Bird.
Okay. Who was the best player on the Warriors for 2 of those rings?
Kevin Durant.
Okay. So you got 2 rings where you was the man. Bird got 3, and Bird got 3 MVPs. And by the way, Bird makes players around him better. Bird makes players around him better.
They were already great, Frank. What are you talking about? Those guys were already great, man.
Come on, Eric, hold on. How are they great? Eric, the Boston Celtics in 1 year, I believe it was, went from having one of the worst records in NBA. That's how they're able to draft Bird. And in 1 year, Bird had him. Bird won an MVP in the second year, I believe, and won a championship. They were horrible. What do you mean? They weren't great before Bird got there. That's false. That's a false narrative.
Hey, what I'm saying is they had Hall of Fame players. McHale's a Hall of Famer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay.
And who else? Who else? You said Hall of Fame players. Who else? I don't think Robert Parrish is in the Hall of Fame.
No, I don't think he's.
Who else?
Bill Walton.
Who else? What?
Bill Walton is not in the Hall of Fame.
Eric, Bill Walton came when Eric, let's stop doing that. Bill Walton was a 6th man on the bench waving the towel at the end of his career. Let's don't act like Bill Walton was a. Let's not do that. Right? A lot of guys have guys who came on later. I mean, come on. That's guys just grabbing on at the very end to get a ring. Let's don't do that.
What about Cornbread?
Larry Bird.
What about Cornbread Maxwell? He's not Hall of
Fame.
He's not Hall of Fame. He's not Hall of Fame.
Is that a joke? I'm gonna start questioning your basketball ability.
Man,
hey, by the way,
what about ML Carr?
Man, you acting silly. Hey, by the way, E.
Hall of Fame coach, KC Jones. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that, Frank. Don't do that.
E, all I want to do is this. Larry Bird, right? Because we do this right on the air. We keep it real. We're keeping it very, very organic, right? You know what I'm saying? People that we're not behind the scenes having people whispering our ear. We keep it real. AE.
Yes.
Just so you know, 3-time most valuable player in the NBA, right?
Okay.
Just to be clear, 9 times All NBA first team.
Okay.
So that means 9 times in his career, Larry Bird, okay, in his career, 9 times, and he played, looks like 14 years, 9 times in his career, right, of his years playing, he was one of the top 2 forwards in the NBA. 9 times in his career. Steph Curry 4 times in his career, playing more years, 4 times in his career, is one of the top 2 guards in the NBA. Larry Bird 9 times playing less years, right, is one of the top 2 forwards. And by the way, let's not and Curry's had a tremendous impact in terms of shooting. But what Magic and Bird did for the NBA is crazy.
Okay.
So right now you got Curry ahead of Bird and Bird not in the top 10.
Yes.
Bro, I want to kick you off the show, bro.
No, you can't do that. And we're gonna have comments, and people are gonna state their opinions on who should be.
Yo, all right. Hey, this is a great topic, E. This is a great topic.
Don't do that. And you talk about Larry Bird and Magic change the game, right? We could say Curry changed the game.
He did that. I give him credit for that. But just so you know, but in a different way, right? Larry Bird and Magic took the game to a whole different level in terms of popularity, fame, etc. Curry didn't do that. In Curry's era, LeBron James is doing that. Right? Style of play, Curry's impacted. I'm not disagreeing with you on that, E. Okay. Right? But a lot of guys impacted style of play. Allen Iverson impacted style of play. Right? There are a lot of players. Bob Cousy impacted style of play.
Wait, go back.
Right? There are a lot of guys.
Go back. You said Allen Iverson style of play?
Of course, yes.
What you gonna say? The crossover
and not just culture. Allen Iverson impacted style of play.
The crossover,
the flair, the crossover, the dribbling, and not just crossover, the dribble moves. Allen Iverson had a significant effect on the revolution.
People were doing crossover moves and dribbling and all that stuff before Allen Iverson, and I love Allen Iverson.
But people were hitting jump shots before Steph Curry.
Not like
so what you saying?
Not like Steph. Not from
and nobody was dribbling like Allen Iverson.
Well, come on.
So what you saying?
That guy's come on. That guy.
So what you saying?
That guy.
But we got to get the people. We got to get the people out here to weigh in, comment. I need y'all to write your top 10. Me and E, we got to be. By the way, E just loves Curry and the Warriors. He's a New York guy up in Washington Heights, loving, the Splash Brothers. Pause.
Yes.
Hey, listen, I need y'all out there to give me your top 10. Give me the list. Tell me who the top 10 players. And by the way, because I want to say this to everybody, give me the dumb comments we talk about. Curry's in the next 10 for sure. Top 20 player in the history of the game, not top 10. And just so you know, to me, in the top 10, he's not even close. Let's stop the argument. He's not close to being a top 10 player. He's in the top 20. Stop.
Let me ask you this. If he wins another
go ahead.
If he wins another championship, he is definitely cemented. You saying he's not. I say I got him in, but you saying he's not. If he wins one more championship, he's definitely in the top 10. Definitely.
But Eric, let me ask you this question, right? Outside of Bird, if you look at all my top guys, Will has records that are so far beyond far, it's crazy, right? But LeBron record so far beyond far, he ain't gonna pass him. Jordan got 6 rings, right? Kareem, I think, got 5 rings. Right? Russell got 11 rings. Magic got 5 rings. Mm-hmm. Duncan got 5 rings. Shaq got 4, and Kobe got 5. So if you give Curry one more, I don't understand. Like, why does that cement him in the 10? Why does that make him pass these guys?
Again, right? Didn't he break the record?
And by the way, in 3 of those rings, he wasn't the best player. And by the way, you can make that argument too for Kareem. Or Magic, huh?
You said 2. You said not
3. And by the way, you can make the argument for Kareem and Magic too, right? Because at some points you can say that Magic wasn't the best player on the team, or vice versa. Or I think Magic was usually the best player on the team, but some people can argue that Kareem was not the best player on the team when he won. I think Magic, even the first ring when Magic came in as a rookie, Kareem got hurt and Magic won that game. I believe it was 5 or 6 in Philadelphia where he jumped center. He scored 40. Remember, Kareem was hurt, right? Got hurt. Philadelphia 76ers, that was my team back then. Dr. J, my favorite player at the time. Magic is my favorite player ever because of the way he plays the game. Magic put his superhero cape on. Rookie, all right, championship game, 42 points, Eric, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, beats the Philadelphia 76ers, wins the finals MVP, and that's the beginning of the Magic Johnson story. But Kareem has records, the amount of all-star games, the most points ever before before LeBron just broke it. Right, the things that he's been able to accomplish, unreal statistically, right? Curry's not that. So it doesn't put him in the top 10 at all if he wins another ring. So stop saying that. You can't just throw stuff around just to say it. That ain't true.
Listen, we want everybody to comment. Please put your top 10 in. And I guarantee
Please do.
And I guarantee there's going to be more Curry in the top 10 than you having Bird in the top 10. I guarantee you. Our fans, I guarantee you.
Can I ask you one question before we go to the next topic?
Yes.
Okay. People also are quite often, and you do this at times too, and I tell you this, become victims of the moment, right? So because you see what someone's doing right now and you never saw another player play, you say, well, I don't know about those guys because I didn't see them play. And a lot of older players, I feel like, get overlooked because of that. So if we get a bunch of young people, because some people argue today, young people, because of our culture today, that Kobe's the best player ever, right? Now, anybody who's a basketball aficionado, savant, like myself, okay, knows it's silly for anybody to ever say that Kobe Bryant is the best basketball player ever. You know that, Eric. There's no way Kobe Bryant is the best ever. But people become victims of the moment. So as we task, right, the people out there to comment and give us their top 10, let's not be victims of the moment. Do your research, all right? Be thoughtful about it and give us a real top 10, not based upon the moment. I'm going to leave it at that, Dominican E.
Oh, man.
Now, E.
Yes.
E. Now, E. We got to switch gears, E.
Yes.
Okay, we have to switch gears, E. We had this conversation the other day, okay? And this is something that I feel like I got a lot of feedback, people talking about. E. Caitlin Clark right now is the Rookie of the Year. She sold it up on Thursday night. I believe it was either Thursday or Friday night. She had a game, right? Her team, the Fever, against the Sky. And we notice, E, when it's close, we look at when they go head-to-head, what happens.
Yes.
Right? We know that this happens a lot, E. It was a close race for MVP, Rookie of the Year. At the end of the year, when the two players play on the same floor, head-to-head, E, okay, sometimes that determines the outcome, okay? Caitlin Clark, I believe, is 5-1 after the All-Star break, right? Or the Olympic break, excuse me, not the All-Star, the Olympic break, I believe it was. Caitlin Clark dominated that game against Angel Reese. And Angel Reese had a double-double, I believe it was, and Angel Reese is played phenomenal. But Caitlin Clark was so dominant in that game. For me, what that did was close the door on the Rookie of the Year conversation, okay? Now, it it doesn't mean that there was an evolution. At one point, I felt like Reese was ahead. At another point, I felt like the two players were equal. And then what Caitlin Clark has been able to do since the Olympic break in general is she's elevated her game to another level. Okay? Now, for all of you cuckoo people out there, right, who are so racist, because this is such a racist conversation, right? All the white people like Caitlin Clark, all the black people, all the black people.
We going to race car
right,
now, Frank? Oh.
Right, that's what it is, right? Every white person is like so aggressively defending the Caitlin Clark argument, right? And then black people defend the Angel Reese argument. And to me, it's dumb, Eric, okay? Because Caitlin Clark could be a better player in the Rookie of the Year, but it doesn't mean Angel Reese sucks. Like, people diss Angel Reese. All she can do is rebound. No, she had more double-doubles than any player this year. She did. She broke the record, not just for a rookie, okay? Most rebounds by a player in the history of the WNBA. Not as a rookie, Eric, but as a player. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal player. And like I said, I'm going to put this prediction on here, right here. I said it before, I think Caitlin Clark will be the MVP of the WNBA season next year. Best player in the league, more upside. But Angel Reese is still a great, great, great player that had a great, great, great season as well. All right? So stop hating. You can say Caitlin Clark is great and say Angel Reese is great too.
First of all, nobody's hating.
Go ahead, E.
Nobody's hating.
Go ahead, E.
Nobody's
People are hating. No, yes, they are.
Nobody's hating. And number one, shout out to Caitlin Clark. She dropped the mic on that game and cemented herself as Rookie of the Year. She dropped the mic.
I'm with you, E.
She dropped the mic, 31 points,
yes.
12 assists. I think it was 4 rebounds or 5 rebounds, something like that. Listen, the girl is a phenomenal.
Mic drop.
The girl's a phenomenal player. And she started off kind of slow. She had to get used to the NBA. And there was a lot of jealousy. There was a lot of stuff going on. And when the NBA, when WNBA started, you know what I'm saying? A lot of players were, you say it was rookie hazing. So she had to get used to that.
Yes, that's better.
Yeah.
All rookies are right. But Eric, see, Eric,
go ahead.
Can I interject for 1 second? I'm sorry. I want to interject. Yes, there was, but there's always hate. But people made it black and white again. Right? Because she was a white girl all along. No, rookies get hazed all the time, right? When Candace Parker endured, or when anybody's the first pick coming in that ballyhooed, right? With so much acclaim, they all deal with that, E, in any sport. LeBron James did in basketball. But let me let you finish, E. But don't act like Caitlin Clark did it, because all these black girls in the WNBA was hazing this white girl. It wasn't that, E. But go ahead.
So everything she had to endure to now have her team over 500 record, in the playoffs right now as we speak. The girl's a phenomenal player. I ain't gonna call her great right now. You said Angel Reese is a great player. I'm not gonna say she's great. They're good young players right now. Both of them are.
No, they're great players. Eric, let me tell you why they're great. Let me tell you why they're great. Because they're breaking records, right? Not just for rookies. They're breaking records for players in general. When you're the best rebounder in the game, you're a great player, right? She's not breaking a rookie record. She's the best rebounder in the history of the WNBA this year.
Frank, this is 1 year. Let's calm down. It's 1 year. Let's pay homage to those older players that played before these young guys, these young ladies. Let's pay homage to them. You know, the Cynthia Coopers of the world, the Lisa Leslie of the world. Let's pay homage to those guys. Let's pay homage to those young ladies that paved the way for these young athletes to be playing in the WNBA.
How are we not paying homage when we acknowledge these girls being great?
Oh, you got it.
We're still
those were the greats. Those were the greats. Lisa Leslie's of the world. Those were greats.
So what? So what?
These are good young.
So we can pay homage to them.
These are good young players having phenomenal seasons. Let's relax.
No, they're not good young players. They're great players, Eric. They're great players, Eric.
And give them time to become great players. They're good young players right now.
Caitlin Clark's a great player today.
Caitlin Clark's a great player. She's a good young player right now. Give her some time.
No, you tripping.
She'll be a great player when it's all said and done. Come on, Frank. Don't do that.
Nah. Caitlin Clark, by the way, first of all, you can call Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese great players and still pay homage to the greats. So let's not act like we do pay homage to the greats. The greats are the greats. But these two young ladies are not just doing great things for rookies, Eric. They're dominating the league as players overall. They're not just great rookies. Right now, Angel Reese is the best rebounder in the history of the game this season. She's not a great rebounder for a rookie. Caitlin Clark is a great player for a rookie. If Caitlin Clark was doing what she was doing right now and she was a fifth-year player, it would still be a phenomenal year. If Angel Reese was a fifth-year player, it would still be a phenomenal year. So stop telling me about they are great players. You can. I know you like to be, conservative with how you label players. Caitlin Clark is a great player right now. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
She's a good young player. Good young player. Good young player. I ain't gonna call him
okay.
A good young player. Very, very good player. And she will be eventually a great player as time goes by.
Well, how you know she's going to be a great player? According to you, you never know. What if she fall off? In your argument, how you know she's going to be a great player?
I'm saying she's
in your argument.
I'm saying she's on the upswing. So the upswing. So with that being said, it's like the stock market. You can say when the stock is about to rise, she's about to take off. So
and the stock market crashes a lot of times too.
It does.
So what you talking about? Some stocks rise and crash. So according to you, you can't say she's going to be a great player at some point because at the end of the day, her stock might crash.
Listen, if she stays healthy and Angel Reese stays healthy, these two young ladies will take the WNBA to new heights and that we've never seen before. So congratulations to both.
All right, so
young ladies, congratulations to both of these young ladies for having phenomenal seasons.
Okay, and I agree. Like I said, it happens in stages, right? Right. Caitlin Clark is the rookie of the year. Like again, she might dropped it the other day. We agree. Rookie of the year, Caitlin Clark. Again, I'm going far enough to say MVP of the league. Yep, she did that. She did that. And let me tell you what's impressive about it too. And then we'll switch topics, all right? The thing that's impressive about it too, Eric, is that her team is winning as well, right? And so they have a chance to go from 7 to 6, I think it is, in I think 18. Well, I know 8 teams make the playoffs. The Sky are 8 right now. So Angel Reese's team is in the playoffs as well, right? But Caitlin Clark is also a winner. I think she's either 5-1 or 6-1 after the break. So not only is she playing really, really well, Eric, she's affecting winning. Unlike Steph Curry, your boy, that you always talk about. So she's affecting winning. She makes the players around her better. That's the biggest thing, Caitlin Clark. By the way, Caitlin Clark's number, everybody loves them long 40-foot three-point shots. They're great in the entertainment. Caitlin Clark's best skill, right, is her passing.
Yes.
Her passing is phenomenal.
Yes.
Her passing, and so she can score, Eric, but Caitlin Clark makes players around her better. Her passing, Eric, I've never seen a woman. Pinachero was good. Pinachero was very good. Bird is overrated to me, right? Bird is the most overrated player ever.
Sue Bird?
Right? She's a 12-point.
Sue Bird was great, Frank. Come on, don't do that.
So let me say this. Sue Bird is a 12-point, Eric. Sue Bird is a 12-point, 5.6 assists per game player. 12 points, 5.6 assists per game, and they think she walks on water. Right. Listen, what Sue Bird did was Sue Bird has the ideal career, right? She never was in a position where she had to be the player. She went to UConn and was surrounded by all these great players, and all she had to do was this. All she had to do was that, right? And then when she came to the WNBA, they protected her, and all she had to do was this. Eric, she's a 12-point per game scorer. Eric, this is Sue Bird. And she's not in there diamond. So, by the way, Sue Bird don't assist. I've never seen a player pass the ball like Caitlin Clark. I mean, and by the way, not just women, men. Let's just not talk about women. Caitlin Clark sees the floor as good as any man that I've ever seen play. Her passing is phenomenal. Now, what you got to say about that, E?
No.
What's her best skill?
Her passing is her best skill. Don't get me wrong. Her passing is the best.
Unbelievable.
Now, let me ask you.
Unbelievable passing.
Before we talked about on Indiana Fever, you said Aaliyah Boston is their best player. Clearly, Clark is their best player. You said Aaliyah Boston. You said Aaliyah Boston was their best player. You said that. Clearly.
So, Eric, first of all, right, pull up the tape, right? And if I did say it, hold on, Eric. This is the problem with some of you guys, right? You can't evolve, okay? Caitlin Clark may have struggled in the beginning of the year, and you may say a few games in, you might say, right now, X is their best player. Hold on, before you go, right now. But as a season evolves and the player improves, right, that changes. So in the beginning of the year, Aaliyah Boston may have been their best player, right? But as the season progressed and we get to where we are, Caitlin Clark is by far their best player. I'm not arguing that. So what are you arguing? So you said earlier in this take, you said Caitlin Clark started out and she struggled. She had some difficulty out the gate.
Right. I mean,
so at that moment, she's not the best player on the team then. So you proving my point. Thank you for proving my point.
Here we go. You always do this.
It doesn't mean today. It doesn't mean that she hasn't evolved to be by far the best player on her team.
Okay, so when you made that statement, you saying that
I'm giving her flowers.
No, you saying when you made that statement about Aaliyah Boston, you said that as of right now, Caitlin Clark has evolved to be the better player. Right? That's what you're saying, right? At the moment,
she's the best player.
Aaliyah Boston was the better player.
When the season started, Aaliyah Boston was. And then Caitlin Clark, and like you just said, Eric, rookies take their bumps, and she was turning the ball over a lot, struggling early, and then she hit her stride, and then she's one of the best. You can argue she might be one of the top. She's the second best player in the league now. She ain't better than Asia Wilson for sure, right? She ain't better than Asia Wilson. But you can you can argue that she may be the second best player in the league today.
No, she ain't better than Stewie. She ain't better than Stewie. She better than Stewie.
Why not?
No, she ain't better than Stewie. Cut it out, Frank. She ain't better.
I mean, let me ask you a question. You can almost argue that Ionescu is maybe the best player on that team.
No, she ain't,
at times.
She ain't better than Stewie. She's not better. That's not
okay.
She ain't better, She ain't better than Stewie.
Well, I think Stewie is so overrated too. I think, there's so much UConn bias in the WNBA and on the Olympic team and all over the place. Stewie's a really good player. Stewie shouldn't have been the MVP last year. Stewie shouldn't have a signature sneaker, right? And Stewie is not better than Caitlin Clark to me, right? Or Asia Wilson is definitely better than both of them today.
I like Asia Wilson. But I also like Stewie.
Eric, she just had 42 nights in a row. Stop. She's leading the league. She's like almost 30 a game in points, and she's second behind Angel Reese in rebounding. Yeah. She's the best player in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Let's not do that.
Debating that. Come on, Frank.
Let's not do that. So, we got to switch gears now, okay? So we're big football fans. We love football. Exciting time of the year for us. Week 1, almost in the books. There's one more game left. That's a lot of alarming stuff that happened week 1, okay? I'm going to name 3 coaches, Eric. I'm going to name some coaches, I'm going to name some coaches, and I want to get your take, okay? I said to you this, Eric, before the game. Did I not say? I said Napier, the head coach of Florida, was going to get fired this year. Yeah. Did I say that?
You did say that.
Before the game against Miami. By the way, your team, the U is back.
Ooh, yes.
The U look good.
Damn.
The U look good. I got to give credit. But have I not said this was the U's year from before? I've been saying this. Fair enough.
You're right. And you an alumni. Come on, Frank. And you're an alumni of Miami. You should be head over heels.
Right.
But go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Well, of the law school, right? Of the law school. Let's get it right, right? But let's get it right. Let's get it right, E. Now the U, look good. Napier. So far in Florida, I think his record is like 13-20, right? Losing season after losing season after losing season. Okay? You get at home in the swamp, in the swamp, right? You got about 90,000 in the swamp against rival Miami, who, by the way, hasn't been amazing, as you know, and you get destroyed 41-14. And they say Florida has the hardest schedule in college football this year.
Yes.
Okay? The hardest schedule in college football, you start off 0-1. You're not a top 20 team. You have top 20 talent. Okay? Florida may win like 3 games this year.
Yes.
3 to 4 games, right? It's no way you can be at the University of Florida where Steve Spurrier had, great history. Steve Spurrier had them rocking and rolling. It's no way you can win 3 to 4 games after 2 unsuccessful seasons and keep your job. Napier is gone by the end of the year.
Ooh, that's a tough one, Frank. That's a tough one.
You out of your mind.
No. This one, he's eventually going to get fired, but this is a tough one. This is what I'm saying. He got the number 1 quarterback who played a little bit in Saturday's game.
I think DJ Langway's name or something. Langway, I believe it is.
Then they had the number 1 running back. So he's upgrading the talent. Just got to give him some time. Some of these schools are delusional. Like Florida, y'all haven't been good since what's my man? Urban Meyer with Tim Tebow. Like you got to
very good. With Spurrier and then Urban Meyer both had tremendous success. Yeah. Top level success. National championship level success.
Yes, with all those great talents, Percy Harvins and all those guys, great talent, Tebow and all those big players. But we have to get
yo, bro. How you mention Percy Harvin before you mention Tebow?
Tebow was great. I'm going with Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin was great too. Pressure.
I mean, but not even close. I mean, Tebow's one of the top maybe college football players ever.
He was.
I mean, Percy Harvin was a really good player. Don't get me wrong, but gee whiz, I mean, Tebow was like unbelievable.
What's the running back? I keep forgetting the running back name. He went to Jacksonville. Oh, he was great too.
Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor was great, Frank. I mean,
Fred Taylor was great too.
They had great talent. They had what's my man? Hernandez. They had the Ponce twins. They had great talent.
The Ponce brothers. Yeah, they were very good. They had Cam Newton too before he started stealing computers as a young kid, though. As a young kid, they had Cam Newton on their roster as well, and he went out there and then went to JUCO, then went to Auburn, obviously, and had the great year at Auburn.
We got to give these coaches some time to build programs. I mean, I know sometimes we get, as a fan base, we want instant, winning. You got to give these guys time to build a roster, time to go in the portal now in today's game, high school and portal, and build a roster. That's why in Mario we trust, because Mario's doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? He's doing it the right way, where he's getting transfer portals and he's getting top elite high school talent. And you build the talent base around you, and you build depth. Florida got a good. They just don't got no depth.
Let me tell you the problem with what you're saying is, right? If it's after 1 or 2 years, I'd agree with you, E. You have to, at 3 years, Eric, show progress. Okay? So the issue with your talent building, malarkey you talking right now, pure malarkey, is if this is year one, Eric, when you're losing, and then you dip down here in year 3, you're supposed to be trending upward by year 3. Right? If you were like, if you like 500, a game or two over 500, year 3, you win more games, right? We're trending the right way, right? So maybe I'm not winning at the highest level, but Eric, you can't win 6 games, 3 to 4 games.
No, you can't do that.
Right. So Napier's going to eat. I got another quarterback for you. So we said Napier. You ready, E?
Another coach, yes. Go ahead. Who you got?
You ready, E? You sure?
Yeah, I'm ready. Who you got?
Dabo Swinney.
Oh, yes. Get that man out of there. Dabo
Swinney.
Yes. Dabo, you gotta go. Your arrogant ass got to go. See you later, Dabo. Time is up, Dabo.
So, E.
Yes.
So, E.
They got demolished too. Demolished.
Right. I mean, and you know what, E? But the irony is this, right? What Kirby Smart is doing at Georgia is unreal. Right, I think they won like 40 some odd games in a row now in the regular season.
Yes.
Right, they're like second. They're on a streak in today's era. To Eric with NIL and everything, it's amazing what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
Right, Dabo Swinney, what he's been able to do at Clemson is legendary for what he had. Yeah. Right, Clemson is not Miami, Michigan, Georgia, Texas. They're not that level of program.
No. Right,
with the history, with the resources, with the money, etc.
Yes.
Okay? Most of those big state schools we talked about, etc. E, what they were able to do in that, it was about a 6 or 7 year stretch, was unbelievable.
Yeah.
National championships, #1 picks in the draft, recruit. So E, the question is this. So I concur. I completely agree with you. Dabo Swinney should have tried to move on when he had a chance to maybe get the Alabama job or something else. Right? When sometimes what coaches don't realize is when the writing's on the wall. Right? And he had done all that he could do at Clemson. And his family may like it in South Carolina, and he may love it at Clemson. But they've been talking about him for a while, and it's been getting testy for a while with him being upset at the fan base and the boosters, et cetera, not appreciating him. Right?
Right about
that. The disparity between them and Georgia on the field the other day was crazy.
Yes.
Right? I mean, the disparity on the field in terms of quality of player, the coaching was horrible. I tell you one thing, you underestimate the importance of coaches, okay? He's never been the same since his boy left to coach Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. Yep.
Right? Well, what's the defensive guy? I can't think of his name right now, E. It'll come to me. But the head coach at Oklahoma now.
Yes, I know.
Right? Yeah. Left Clemson. Clemson's never been the same since he left. So, yes, it's time for him to go. I think I agree with you. But, this is one of those Tom Landry, Dallas Cowboy situations, right? Where you need somebody to come in there and have enough guts to fire the best coach in the history of Auburn. That's not even deniable.
Say it again. Yeah. And also
he's
he's getting a lot of money too. He's getting a lot of money.
Yeah, but he's the best coach in the history of Clemson football.
Yes.
So it takes like when Jimmy Jones came in, when Jerry Jones came in, and bought the Cowboys and got rid of Tom Landry.
Yeah. Yep. The legendary Tom.
So
Landry. Yes.
Huh?
The legendary Tom Landry.
Yes. So what's his downfall?
What's Dabo? Dabo's downfall never adjusted to the NIL stuff. That was his downfall. Never adjusted to the NIL stuff, and that right there. And also too, we gotta look at Clemson. Clemson's a small school, South Carolina. It's not a state school where they have a lot of money, and they don't have a lot of boosters and stuff like that pour money into the program. So,
but I'm just getting the football coach that I want to talk about. Venables.
Yes,
Venables. That's the guy. When Venables left, he ain't been the same.
Yes,
right.
That's a fact.
But I disagree with you on the NIL situation. Right. I don't think I think, and then people lump these things in together. I think he didn't get into the transfer portal to get players. Right. Because NIL is different than transfer portal.
That too.
Right. I think they paying NIL money, but remember he said that he's not going into the portal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, he did say that. Yep, and that's what
right?
hurt him. That hurt him.
And that to me, that's been his downfall.
Yeah,
you got to go in the portal to get players.
Sure,
right? You got to go in the portal today. You can't compete without going in the portal. You still might want to foundationally, like Crystal Ball's done a good job in Miami. You still might want to foundationally recruit, right, from high school sources, etc. But you got to add splash players from the portal, right?
Yes, you do. That's a fact.
So I got also talk about how things can switch up. 2 more coaches. You ready?
Yes.
So you got Lincoln Riley at USC and you got Brian Kelly at LSU. Right? So everybody thought Lincoln Riley was going to have a trouble this year. Fair enough. Lost Caleb Williams. Defense has been atrocious, right? And everybody thought they was going to play LSU. They're going into the Big Ten this year. And everybody, including me, thought that they were going to play against LSU, right? It was in Vegas, and that the SEC school, and LSU was a top 5 team, and you would have thought maybe a top 5 team in the SEC was going to beat USC comfortably, right? And USC won, Eric. All right, shout out Lincoln Riley for that one. Okay.
Yes.
Now I think Eric, they lose that game, right? If they don't play well in the Big Ten, Lincoln Riley's on the hot seat. With all the money they paid him, right? He's on the hot seat. Okay. Now, Brian Kelly, LSU guy, LSU's fared decently. They've lost 3 games in a row, right? Neutral sites, first game of the year.
Yeah.
Right? 3 games in a row. Is he on the hot seat? And by the way, I never liked Kelly, even when he's at Notre Dame. He was an overrated coach. His Notre Dame teams were always, right, underachieved.
Yeah, I don't like Kelly either. And, and LSU has a history of putting the plug on guys. What was the guy that won the national championship and a year later they got rid of him? What was the man? What's the coach's name?
Nah, not Muschamp.
It was Muschamp that won.
You talking about the guy? Yeah, I know you're talking about. And then he went to Kansas after. He used to chew the grass.
Yeah, the guy that used
to
have a husky voice. Pause.
Yeah, by the way, what's the name was there too, right? The great Nick Saban won a ring there as well.
Yeah,
My God.
That's right. Nick Saban.
Right, Nick Saban. Well, LSU, listen, SEC program, right? Big money program, big, booster following. And look, receiver right? Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham. I mean, we can go on and on and on, right? They just got a kid that the Giants drafted this year in the draft, Neighbors. I mean, year after year after year after year, they got elite wide receivers. So, Joe Burrow went there recently, won the national championship recently. So, but I think Brian Kelly's the guy that's in trouble. Let's watch it closely. I don't want to be too preliminary, but I think the USC coach, Lincoln Riley, got himself a reprieve by winning this game, and I think Kelly's on the clock. And so Kelly better do what he better do, right? And then lastly, as we talk about the season, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, right? Notre Dame, I hate Notre Dame. I don't hate them, but it's the most overrated program. The coach there is okay, but right? They played the 20th ranked team in the country in Texas A&M, and that's the highest ranked team on their schedule.
Yeah.
Okay? And then I think
they got them 7th right now. They got Notre Dame 7.
And no E. And so they're definitely going to be in the bowl series, you assume, because who's going to beat them on their schedule? NC State, Stanford, USC is the second-rated team. They beat Texas A&M. Eric, they are favorite. You know, they have the probability indicator. They are favorite to win every game this year.
Yep.
Right? And so, this is why I have such problems when the strength of schedule thing, when it comes to Notre Dame, is not an issue, right? Because Notre Dame is 7th in the country, and they play against nobody all year long, okay? And they're going to get into the bowl series playing lesser competition, and you have SEC schools that are playing against top 10, top 20 schools almost every weekend, and they're going to have four losses, and they're not going to get in because you're playing against Alabama, Texas, right? Oklahoma, Georgia, Ole Miss. You playing against these guys every week and getting your brains bashed in, and you got Notre Dame over here playing against a bunch of nobodies, but because of the notoriety and the fame and the program, they get into it.
I mean, yeah, the program, the money, the fan base, they're gonna get in. But
what
what happens with Notre Dame all the time, Frank? They'll get in, and then they'll get their heads bashed in when they play an elite team. We saw throughout history.
Of course,
what happens to them.
Of course.
The last time one was with Lou Holtz, whatever his name is. You know what I'm saying? That's the last time they.
Eric, I'm gonna give you history. Who was the Heisman guy under that in that time for them? You remember who it was?
I got you. He had a couple, but it was my man, the Rocket Ishmael.
Yes, Rakib Ishmael, the Rocket. Remember him?
Yeah, and they had
he was good.
Too. They had Tim Brown. Tim Brown was pretty good. And
Tim Brown
and the quarterback,
Hall of Fame. I think a Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame receiver.
Yeah, and the quarterback Tony Rice. Yeah, come on, Frank.
Rice was okay.
It was okay.
Rice was okay. Most of those quarterbacks they had were overrated, right? They had all these quarterbacks coming that were supposed to be, you know, not Matt Barkley, but I forgot the other guy, Quinn. Remember Brady Quinn came in. They had all these, kids coming in that were supposed to be the next great ones in Notre Dame, and those kids never panned out. But anyway, interesting start to the year. Florida State lost, right, against Georgia Tech, which is interesting, right? Yeah. That's a big loss. They were a top 10 school, people thought, right? They may be a bit overrated. Yes. But anyway, it's early in the year, Let's see what happens.
The quarterback has had a disappointing college career. DJ Angole, whatever his last name is.
Yeah,
disappointing college career.
Yeah.
Big quarterback out of LA, top heavy rank.
St. John's Bosco. Yeah, St. John's Bosco.
Yeah. Ranked 102 behind the quarterback that's now playing in Charlotte,
with the Panthers.
Yeah, with the Panthers.
Yeah.
And he just never really, I think system, plays a factor with him. He's a big dude, has trouble reading defenses, and he struggled in his college career. So, you know me, I'm not a Florida State fan anyway. F him. So go ahead. What's the
So let me say this, He was number one and number two, right? Him and Bryce Young, right? Bryce Young at Modern Day. He was at St. John Bosco. Bryce Young went to Alabama. He went to Clemson at the time, and he was supposed to be your boy, Trevor Lawrence's backup, right? Not backup, but he's the heir apparent. He sat behind Trevor Lawrence for 1 year, and he was supposed to be the guy. And by the way, sometimes when you gamble on the wrong players, that hurt Clemson too, right? Because after Lawrence left, he was supposed to be the guy, and he never panned out. He was the number one guy. Then he went to, I think, Washington State, had an okay year, right? But this is an example of how sometimes the guy's the biggest player on the court, okay? But they're not really as talented.
He did not go to Washington State. He went to
Oregon State. I'm sorry, not Washington. I know it's in the Pac-12, Oregon State. But listen to this is an example when sometimes a kid is the biggest player on the field and you get wowed by that, but the skill level's not there, right? So he was 6'5", 250 pounds, playing quarterback, right? And that's amazing. And in high school, imagine him running the football or coming at you. There's a huge intimidation factor. You get to college, and now the guys are your size, and then you got to be talented.
He struggled against Georgia Tech. Had some missed throws,
Yes. He should have stayed at Oregon State because he had a decent year last year.
Yes,
I get it, but I get it. The Pac-12 doesn't really exist. There are only 2 teams left. But sometimes even when your feet are planted and you're being successful somewhere, you got to just stay where you at. But anyway, great conversation. Obviously, more to come. College football is here. It's in full bloom. The NFL season starts next Sunday. This Sunday coming up, Exciting. We'll talk NFL during the week.
Don't forget our little wager. We got a little wager coming up.
What's the wager?
What you mean? Kansas City and the Baltimore Ravens.
You didn't bet it. You were afraid. Remember, you said you needed some time to think. You had to consult. You got to meditate for 2 days before the bet. No, you said, I got to meditate on it. I got to think about it, and I'll let you know later. Let's make the bet. I got the Ravens. Will you take Kansas City straight up? Yes or no?
On air.
Here we go. Now you're scratching your eye.
On air. That's a bet. It's on air. $100. It's on air.
Okay. I got the Ravens. Okay. Straight up. You got KC. Straight up. It's on. It's on. Now, people, because I'm glad we got it on film, because you know you like to be you Mr. Wishy-washy. So I'm glad we got the bet on film.
Frank,
all right, well, listen.
I won a couple bets. Don't get it twisted. I won a couple bets.
You know you owe me money, bro. But anyway, I digress. So E, as we do at this time,
yes.
I know you like to shout out brothers and sisters that are having success in your community, yes. In the Dominican community. Do your thing, bro.
So this one, I'm gonna take it back. I'm going into history books. We talked briefly about great players in the past, paying homage to those guys. I'm going history. I'm gonna give a shout out to Esteban Hotes. He was one of the members of the Tuskegee Airmen. People don't realize that. People don't think. People thought they were just all African Americans. It was Dominican Tuskegee Airman. His name was Esteban Hotes. So I want to give a shout out to his family. He passed away, he had a plane crash, passed away in 1945, but he was part of the Tuskegee Airmen. I just want to give a brief history to all my Latinos and all my African Americans. He was part of the Tuskegee Airmen. So I want to give a shout out to his family and his kids or his grandkids. I want to give a shout out to them. Esteban Hotes. That's my shout out.
So first of all, I love that. We got a nugget today, some history. That's great information. You know what I'm saying? Bringing something to the light. Yes. But yeah, I hope you said the man's name right. Because remember last time you got the prime minister's name wrong, right? The president of the Dominican Republic. And everybody back in Washington Heights was getting all on you, man.
Yes.
So make sure you please, when you do your shout outs, man, get the names right, please.
Yeah, I got to get the names right. The president's name is Luis Amirabel.
Oh, you got it wrong again. Hey, Washington Heights, when you see him, throw some eggs at him, Washington Heights.
Luis
in the Heights.
Luis Amirabel.
Throw some eggs at him when you see him.
Yeah, Luis Amirabel.
Yeah, that's funny.
Shout out.
All right. All right, good people. All right, yo, we out. Love, like, subscribe. Give us your top 10.
Yes.
Right? Objectively when it comes to the top 10 NBA players ever.
Thank you.
All right, we out.
All right.